to understand this, let's consider a great example of economics at work, which is eBay, okay? When eBay came along, okay, I know it is older than all of you, but it's younger than me. When eBay came along, economists were very excited because economists love auctions. Auctions are, if you will, the standard market that used to exist in, 15th century England, okay? It's literally people bidding against each other in a way that reveals who wants the good the most. And what's wonderful about that, and we'll come back to this throughout the semester, is it has two great features. One is it makes sure the right amount gets produced, and two is it makes sure the people who want it the most get it. One beautiful feature of free markets is that they don't just get you to the right aggregate quantity, they also get the goods in the hands of people who are willing to pay the most for them. And that's what eBay did. Now, one auction eBay got a lot of attention, which is that somebody put their kidney for auction on eBay. They auctioned their kidney. They said, I'll give you my kidney for, let the bidding start at $25,000. The bidding got up to $5 million before eBay shut it down and said, no auctioning human body parts on eBay. Okay? Now, I don't know why they stopped at $5 million, not earlier, but whatever. Okay, so with this example, we can ask both a positive and a normative question. The positive question is, why did the price get so high? And here, we only need to appeal to the supply-demand model. The demand for a kidney is going to be pretty high. If you need a kidney to live, you're going to pay approximately everything you have to get it. The supply of kidneys on the free market is pretty low, like that was the only one I know of. Okay? So it's a classic case with a very high demand and a very low supply, you're going to get a very high price. And so it's not surprising the price went up and probably would have gone up further if eBay hadn't shut it down. But now we come to the normative question, which is more interesting and harder, which is, should we be allowed to sell our bodily organs on eBay? Okay? You might think that this is a question here in philosophy class, but fundamentally it's an economics question. Okay? Many folks die in America because we do not have enough organs to help those with organ failure. We have a limited supply of organs. I hope you all are organ donors on your driver licenses. Doesn't cost you anything. You're gone anyway, and it can save a life. But many people don't do that, and even if they did, we have a higher demand for organs than we can fit. Now, if someone who wants an organ is wealthy and willing to pay a lot of money for it, and there's someone else who says, look, I got 2 kidneys, you can function just fine with one, the odds you have kidney failure is really low. Someone says, look, I am in desperate straits, I can't feed my family, I can't house my family, I could sell 1 kidney, still function fine, and change my life forever, educate my children, build a house, do the things I need to do. Why shouldn't we let that happen? So standard economics would say, great, let them auction their body parts. But in fact, there's reasons why we don't think, there's many reasons why that may not be a good outcome. What are those? What are reasons we might not want to just say, sure, let her rip? What are some reasons? Yeah. Go ahead. Sure.
Maybe like a black market type kidneys for
Yeah. So there's fundamentally 2 kinds of reasons. The first kind is what we'll call market failures. Market failures are something we're not going to cover for about the first 11 lectures. For the first 11 lectures, the free market is going to be king. Let me be very clear with you. Economics is fundamentally a right-wing science. Okay, as will come clear through the semester, I'm kind of a left-wing guy, but economics is pretty much a right-wing science. Basic economics says the market knows best. And there's only 2 reasons why you should ever interfere with the market. And the first is because for some reason the market's not working properly. This is an example. It would be fine if everyone knowledgeably went into this transaction. But what if this turns out this can cause people to like force their children to give up their kidney or do things against their will, other criminal activities? What if people don't really understand how dangerous it is to give your kidney? There's 50,000 Americans every year. There's now currently about 100,000 Americans living with hepatitis C, which causes kidney failure. Hepatitis C can live dormant for years before you know you have it. What if you give up your kidney and find out you have hepatitis C? Then you're dead. So there's lots of reasons why I think, well, maybe this market doesn't work quite as well as economists say it does. People might be misinformed. People might be forced to do it. What's interesting is the black market is not necessarily one of those reasons. And here's why. Because the black market, economists just say, is a market. Let's say eBay doesn't allow you to sell your kidneys, so you have to go sell it on the black market. Well, if there's no other market failures, that's okay. For the same reason economists think it'd be okay to sell your body parts, there's no reason why you have to sell your body parts on a formal market and informal market. The only reason why it would be bad would be if that informal market comes with other unsavory features, like forcing people to sell their body parts or not being informed. That's when it would be bad. Okay? What other reasons might we care? Might we be worried about people selling their kidneys? Yeah, white t-shirt in the back.
It would mean that only like really rich people would be able to get them.
Great answers, guys. The second reason we care is what we call equity or fairness, which is we might not think it's fair that rich people get to live and poor get to live longer and buy their organs and poor people don't. Okay, we might think this is that this is an unfair outcome. Now, this is what's fascinating about America, which is even though we pride ourselves on being the land of the market economy, we also care a lot about fairness as a nation. And this is viewed by many as being blatantly unfair, that the richer you are, the more you can just buy body parts off poor people. Now, here's what's a little bit sad about this class, and the sad about the limitation of only having, the number of weeks we have, which is I'm not going to talk nearly as much about equity as I'd like to. 90% of this course is going to be about efficiency. It's going to be about, does the market work? Does the market deliver the right quantity of goods? It's not about equity, which is, well, does that right quantity end up causing huge inequality in society? So that is kind of another reason why we might care. Okay, and we will discuss equity later in the semester, but unfortunately not till much later.